Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a feeling of resourceful relaxation. And as you exhale, just get a sense that tension, stress, worries are leaving your body in your outward breath. That's right. As you breathe in and breathe out, give yourself permission to let go. Let go of anything that is impeding the quality of your life. Any thoughts, feelings, echoes of tension, allow that to let go now. And in choosing to let go of these feelings, these thoughts, these ideas, accept that how you feel quite often is a reflection of what you focus on. There's some areas of your life that you have beliefs, and what you focus on is empowering things, your competency, your achievements, your accomplishments. And notice that when you focus on what is good, you have good feelings. But then in other areas of your life, if you were to focus on perhaps things outside of your control or things that are missing in some way, it can create entirely different feelings. I want you to get a sense that things can either come from within or they can come from external things. You can pay yourself a compliment and you can hear a compliment from someone else. I want you to get a sense that it's kind of like a balance. That if you're too dependent on certain things from outside of you, your mind will experience insecurity and anxiety at anything that could impede those things. I want you to imagine that you had a small farm on a mountain. Perhaps you can picture that mountain. See the greenness of the landscape, the blueness of the sky, the freshness of the air. And I want you to get a sense that perhaps there's a house there with just a small farm growing different things, fruits, vegetables, maybe chickens with eggs. And I want you to get a sense that because you're isolated on this mountain, that if the only source of your food was a supermarket, one supermarket in a nearby village near this mountain, and sometimes this store, this supermarket would be closed and sometimes it wouldn't have much food on the shelves, I want you to get a sense that you would be very anxious, paranoid, insecure when going to that supermarket if there was no food growing in your own farm. Perhaps you can picture a garden in the back of your farm and it has nothing growing there whatsoever. And the only source of food for you and the people you care about was from this shop in the village. Unreliable. Sometimes it would have food, sometimes it wouldn't. It stands to reason that you would think a lot about whether or not the shop's going to be open, whether or not they're going to have food, the freshness of that food. It all becomes very important to think about this particular shop. But I want you to decide there in that farm that you've had enough being so dependent, so reliant on this unreliable shop in the village. I want you to get a sense that you've decided to take some action. I want you to imagine starting to grow things there in your own garden. Now, even if you don't know about growing things, just imagine that you do, and imagine that you're planting vegetables, growing different things, maybe potatoes and carrots, maybe apple trees and pear trees. And I want you to imagine that time has gone by and you walk into this garden with the amazing mountain views, and this garden looks like a paradise of all the different fruits and vegetables, all ripe. I want you to imagine that at the point where your garden is overflowing with fruit and vegetables and all the food and perhaps milk that you can want, just imagine how little you care about whatever is going on in that supermarket. I want you to get a sense that if you were to go to the supermarket in that village by that mountain, perhaps they have things that you can't grow yourself, and that's a bonus. Maybe they have different foods that you really like. I want you to get a sense that there is no insecurity, no paranoia, no neediness about whether or not the supermarket has what you like or doesn't, because your own garden is overflowing with everything that you need. I want you to get a sense that even if you went to the supermarket, even if it was closed when it should be open, you wouldn't be angry. If there was food that you liked and they didn't have any on hand, you wouldn't care. I want you to get a sense that anything in that supermarket is a bonus. The needs, the nutritional needs that you have are all being met from something that you've created yourself. And you would need to tend to that garden, plant the seeds, allow them time to grow. But once you have it, it's there, constantly, season after season, giving you new fruit, new vegetables, new produce. Every day the chickens would lay new eggs. I want you to get a sense that your dependency on anything outside of your farm is minimal and anything else is a bonus. And if your unconscious mind accepts that in this dynamic of needing food, there on that mountainside, this would be a useful thing to do, just let me know by nodding your head. Humans don't just need food. Humans have emotional needs just as much as they have nutritional needs. And although you can grow apples and carrots, as humans we need other things as well. We need affection, attention. We need to feel significant and important. We need to feel meaningful and appreciated. We need to feel that we're worthy, valuable. And I want you to get a sense that in the garden of your own mind, if you weren't able to create these feelings yourself, stands to reason that you would be insecure as to whether or not you can get these needs from someone else. What is paranoia, if not second-guessing and questioning all these things, connotations If you need something and you're not sure if you can get it, then you can come up with wild ideas as to what's really happening. Think back to that supermarket. If the supermarket didn't have any of your certain foods that you needed on the shelves, you might come up with conspiracy theories as to why they're not there. And yet the moment you're growing as much as you need in your own garden, you don't care. The paranoia goes away. The insecurity, the neediness goes away because you're no longer needy. And I want you to get a sense that you are the leader of your own life. I want you to get a sense that other people can make you feel important, but you can make yourself feel important. I want you to get a sense of small things that you do for other people that make them feel important. Perhaps it's remembering key dates, birthdays, anniversaries. Maybe it's dropping them a message just to see how they are. Maybe you make them feel important by giving them your full attention when they talk, remembering their name, paying attention to the things that they like, and intuitively get a sense that if you can do this for other people, then of course you can do it for yourself, because you know you better than anyone else. As you start to wonder, what can you do for yourself to make you feel not just intellectually but emotionally feel important? What can you do to really listen to your own needs, to give yourself that time, that attention, to figure out what you need and meet that need? Sometimes you'll need rest. Sometimes you'll need appreciation. Sometimes you'll need to be pampered, and sometimes you'll need to be firm with yourself. And I want you to get a sense that just by meeting your own needs are treating you as someone that's important. And if you already get a sense that there are things that you can do imminently to make you feel important, just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to get a sense that there are two key things that we can do to show value and appreciation for other people. A lot of the time it's giving resources, sometimes finite resources like time or money. And therefore, if that's true for other people, then it must be true for you. So whenever you spend money on yourself, that is you valuing and appreciating you. Whenever you give yourself time just for things that you like, that is you valuing and appreciating you. I want you to get a sense that, given that it's so easy, that if you just give yourself time, thoughts, attention or money on yourself, then you're naturally going to feel appreciated and valued. Then the only limit to how appreciated and valued you're going to feel is your own imagination, your own creativity. And interestingly, you're already aware of the law of the lid. The more that you appreciate yourself, the more that you can show appreciation and gratitude for other people. The more that you value yourself, just as a side effect, don't be surprised if you start valuing all those other people around you even more. As you treat yourself as the most important person in your world, it doesn't mean that you're better than anyone else. It actually means that you'll also start treating other people also with a sense of importance. And because of that, the law of reciprocity states that as you treat other people with more importance, they'll treat you with more importance. As you value as a people, they value you. I want you to get a sense that by investing in yourself, you naturally, as an unintended side effect, become more desirable, more valuable, more significant, more charismatic to all those people around you. I want you to create scenarios in your mind right now of all the things that you can do to show appreciation. Not just say those affirmations of thank you to yourself and that you're doing a good job, you're a good mum, you're a good person. I'm not talking about words, I'm talking about actions. What can you do to show yourself that you appreciate you? What time can you give yourself? How can you take some of whatever you earn and just spend a proportion of it just on you to say thank you to yourself? And as you do that, I want you to get a sense that your emotional resilience is filling up. You're filling up that fuel tank, recharging those batteries of your own emotional resilience. As you meet your own needs, you realize that whenever those needs are now met from other people, that's just a bonus. Notice that if you don't think too highly of yourself, how awkward it is to receive a compliment from someone else. And yet, when you really truly believe good things about yourself, it's so much more natural for other people to say good things and you receive them in the way that they intend. You open up the possibility of receiving more the more that you give to yourself. I want you to imagine somewhere on this mountain is a waterfall. Only this time this waterfall is warm water. I want you to get a sense that this warm waterfall is a waterfall of desirability. Imagine you're wearing whatever clothing is appropriate to be there under that waterfall, and I want you to get a sense as you feel the warmth of the water on your skin that whatever your definition is of being desirable, of being attractive, of being warm, friendly, having a nice personality, the warm water of the waterfall as you feel it on your skin is recharging that battery, filling your fuel tank, and maybe you feel warmer as a person, feel like your ability, your capacity for friendliness is increasing. They say that the most beautiful thing that anyone can wear is a smile. And under this waterfall, feel that you are giving yourself permission to smile bigger and brighter than ever before. And in doing so, don't be surprised if you hear more compliments of how warm, how friendly you are, how welcoming you are. And in doing so, every time you smile, you will feel that you are beaming friendliness and warmth. And the more you do that, don't be surprised if it echoes back towards you. Whenever you notice that someone noticing you smile or talking in a warm, friendly way, that will boost up your own perception of yourself as being valuable, desirable. And as that emotional resilience rises, also notice that the threshold as to what it's going to take for you to feel upset, anxious, insecure also rises. I want you to accept this suggestion to be true. the better you feel about yourself, the more difficult it will be for you to even entertain the idea of being insecure. Your garden will produce so much of what you need that anything outside of your garden is simply a bonus. And in fact, if you were to look in the garden, notice that maybe a few trees had dried and a few carrots were no longer there, wouldn't it be a trigger for you to plant more seeds? Wouldn't it be a trigger for you to do more of the right things to create more future produce in your garden? So at any point in time, if you get a sense of your own feeling of self-esteem or confidence or importance starting to dwindle, that will be a trigger for you to do something nice for yourself. Perhaps book yourself a holiday, take yourself shopping, do something nice for yourself simply because you deserve it. Whatever used to trigger insecurity and anxiety will now trigger you putting yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup, and therefore, the better you feel about yourself, the easier it will be for anyone else to feel good about being with you and around you as well. Your friendships will improve. Personal relationships will improve. Your whole life gets better as you start to meet your own needs first. If your unconscious mind accepts these suggestions to be true, let me know by nodding your head. And then just create a move in your mind as to what the next few days are going to look like as you start to do some of these things that actually put yourself first, make you feel important, valuable, appreciated, desirable. And when you've thought of at least one or two things that you can immediately do in the next few days, just let me know by nodding your head. And just realize this is the tip of the iceberg. As you do more things for yourself, your mind will be open to all the other ways in which you can do even more things for yourself. And the better you feel about yourself, the less you will need anyone else to make you feel good. The only validation you will ever need is your own validation. Anything else is a bonus. It's nice to be desired. It's nice to have other people see you as important. But it's only necessary that you see those qualities in yourself. And as you cultivate these qualities and grow these feelings within yourself, your reliance on anyone else becomes a nice to have rather than a need to have. And how can you feel needy if what other people can give you is simply nice? It's time to leave this mountain, but you leave feeling like your emotional resilience has been topped up. You feel good in your own skin. You feel important, valued, appreciated, and desirable. In doing so, notice that it would take a hell of a lot to kind of make you feel insecure now. And therefore, in the next few days and weeks, don't be surprised if you do more things to put yourself first, and in doing so, inoculate yourself from these feelings from other people. When your unconscious mind is ready to leave this farm by the side of a mountain and return back to the present, let me know by nodding your head. And then feel like you're in your own body, firmly in the present, but keep all these good feelings in you. A feeling of appreciation, importance, feeling like you value yourself, and recognize all of those good qualities that you have. Knowing that at any point you look at yourself in the mirror and just smile a warm smile, you can unlock all these positive feelings again. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're in your own physical body right now. Because very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling highly resourceful, feeling like your emotional resilience is topped up, fully charged, ready to open a new chapter in your life where your emotional needs are met by yourself first and foremost. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.